Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and I'm here with the Scorpio season forecast for the Edge magazine. All righty here. This is 2024's Scorpio season forecast. Just a little introduction to me for anyone who does not know me. I'm an astrologer, a coach, and an intuitive. I do personal readings, including help people find their birth times with a technique called chart rectification. I do group events and classes. I'm on the faculty for Kepler College. I'm a board member for the Organization of Professional Astrology. I speak internationally for astrology schools, groups, and conferences. I'm a Taurus sun, Aries moon, and a Cancer rising. That's my big three. So that's how astrologers introduce themselves. So you want to know your big three. My background is I spent over 25 years in corporate roles at Fortune 500 companies. I have a degree in biology and my master's in business administration. You can learn all about me at astrologybyceleste.com. Listen to the Celestial Insights podcast for weekly guidance. Come to one of my new moon intention setting workshops or see me on any of the socials at Astrology by Celeste. I always like to start with a quote. Befriending the shadow is really about learning to love. We let the dark out to let love in by David Richo. I hope I said his last name right. That's a great quote, so in line with Scorpionic energy, because Scorpio is a water sign and water is internal. It's about the feeling body. It's a fixed sign. So fixed signs hold the energy. There's a nature of staying steady with the energy. And Scorpio's ruled by the planet Mars, which is the planet of action, drive, and assertion, but it's also the planet of conflict. Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by Mars, but Aries is a yang fire sign. It's more like the warrior who is out there fighting on the front lines for a cause. Scorpio is the sniper energy. You don't see them. It's Bradley Cooper in that movie standing on the building, you know, taking out a target. That's the difference between the two energies. Like you can't really see um, the Scorpio assassin. So, Scorpio energy seeks intensity. It is provocative, investigative, and delves beneath the surface. Now, that assassin imagery is just an imagery about how people go after what they want. With an Aries energy, you know exactly what they're going for. With Scorpio, you may not know because the water signs are mute. The person may be keeping their strategy. Scorpio is a very strategic sign. Their strategy quiet and has the ability to just stay on task to get what it wants. There are three different archetypes associated with Scorpio. The eagle, which can fly above. The eagle flies above looking for its next meal and like has that vision, and then boom, 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 it dives down, gets out. Very strategic. Or the scorpion. If Scorpio energy is ride or die. If you have a good friend who's a Scorpio, they don't care whether you're in the wrong or not. They are on your side because there is this deep, passionate, connective energy. And yeah, they will stand up for you. Yes, they will. But if you hurt them, you're dead to them, and then the stinger may come out. Scorpio energy can be deeply healing. Also, the phoenix. The phoenix who, is burned up in the ashes, but will rise again. You can think about the nature of caterpilling, butterflying. This can be like a scorpionic transformation where you go into the underworld, into, some taboo things or a dark night of the soul, or into your shadows of the things about your psyche that you'd rather not admit to, like maybe you get jealous sometimes, or revengeful, or coveting, wanting some other people's stuff, or wanting to engage in some 9.5 weeks kind of activities. Yeah, that's all of it's sexual, it's passionate, it's intense, it's investigative, it's forensic. Scorpios make people with strong Scorpio energy, and by strong, I mean they have multiple planets in the sign of Scorpio, or one of their big three, sun, moon, or rising, or one of their points in their chart is a Scorpio. And by points, I mean the the ascendant, midheaven, descendant, IC. If you don't know what that means, you can go to my website and watch my introduction, Meet the Zodiac, um, Meet the Zodiac class. Okay, so what else was I going to say about that? I think I did. You see, it looks like the Scorpion, Mars, and see that the glyph has that tail, the tail of the Scorpion that can sting. And it's a really important energy for us to to work with. And Scorpio season is this year, it's October 22nd through November 21st. And this energy invites us to go beneath the surface, to get internal. It's it rules the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Mercury enters the sign of Sagittarius. These are the key transits, November 2nd to January 8th. This is a really long time for Mercury, the planet of communication and commerce and transportation, to be in a sign. And that's because it's going to go retrograde November 25th through December 15th. So, on the positive, Sagittarius energy is fun. You can think about fun, snappy conversations. A lot of comedians have strong Sagittarius energy, but this is a sign of its detriment, where it's not easy to express the energy in balanced ways. Mercury is at home in Gemini, and in detriment in Sagittarius, the sign opposite, as far away as it can be from its home. And you can think about where you take communication and give it to a Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion. You can get exaggeration, half truths, big fish stories. So, yeah, we're going to be hearing a lot of bloviating talk during this time. And you see, this is a couple of days before the US presidential election. Mars enters Leo. Mars, the planet of action, drive, assertion, fighting, and fornication, from November 3rd through January 6th. And this is a passionate, intense sign. Both Leo and Sagittarius are fire signs that push the energy outward. And yeah, having both of the, it's going to be really, 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 really loud coming up. I have predicted there's going to be stuff with the election where I think it's going to be held up, us knowing who's going to be the next president in the US because of the courts. We will see. I think it has to do with all these storms we're having. We shall see what happens, but yeah, it's not going to be a smooth, easy road to an inauguration. I mean, it may be months before we know what's happening. So just understand you were incarnated at this time for a reason. How can you know what you can change, what you can't change, and the difference between them. What you can do as an individual is vote, support your candidate, canvass, volunteer to be a poll worker, all of these kinds of things. That's what you can control. Um, yeah, you can phone baking, that sort of thing. Okay. Anyway, so like, because I can see people getting very, 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 very stressed and anxious, and it's not going to make a difference to the outcome. Actions that you can take, legal actions that you can take or what will make a difference. Yes. Anyway, okay. Embrace confidence. This can be a time of grand romantic gestures that people are making. Now, shadow energy is attention seeking behavior, like just violent behavior, bullying behavior. We're going to see a lot of this because Mars is going to go retrograde December 6th through February 23rd. And so what is going to happen? It's going to go back into Cancer and then come back into Leo later. So we're in for a long period where retrogrades, the action is slowed down. There's delays, and Mars rules competition. That's why I'm saying there's going to be something about a delay about knowing who the winner is to the competition. Mercury rules paper like ballots. This is very like recount imagery with Mercury going retrograde at the end of November is what I recount, review, redo, like RE words is retrogrades. Anyway, Venus will enter the sign of Capricorn from November 11th through December 6th. Remember, committed relationships are work, love is serious. Who are the reliable and responsible people that you love? I mean, the politics in the US, it is so sad. We've never seen it like it's been over the last decade. Parental alienation, people like yeah, discontinuing relationships with their parents over politics. It is shocking what is going on. And from all political parties, I've heard stories that are really surprising about rifts between children and their elders. Capricorn rules the authority, the government. You can think about it like your parental unit. And Venus, even if like you cannot believe what they're saying to you, remember, can you remember the love? Can you remember how they took care of you? If it's your children, you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm hoping the fever dreams will break at some point, but right now, people are very passionate. They're going to be in their feelings. It's like, let's just not talk about it. Conversation, let's not talk about it rather than arguing about these things is my suggestion. Pluto will enter the sign of Aquarius on November 19th for 20 years. Pluto has been dancing back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. Capricorn rules governments, big business. It's about the tradition and maintaining traditions. Aquarius is the future. It's innovation. It's taking the Capricornian tradition, making them better. Capricorn is hierarchical. Aquarius wants people to be treated the same. And yeah, so but Aquarius, like it's a fixed air sign. Air is about beliefs. It can lead to groupthink and exiling people who don't think the same as you. It can be power to the people. We're seeing all of these since 2023 when Pluto went into Aquarius. Unions, people banding together and making, like the UPS workers, the actors, the dock workers, banding together and forcing their Capricornian employers to pay them a more fair wage. Yes, collective action. But Pluto also rules the shadows. It's about power dynamics and it exposes the rots. You can think about all we've seen with Pluto in Capricorn, too big to fail. All these governmental, Me Too, like these hierarchical. Now it's Sean Combs and his stuff. Hierarchical systems where people at the top have too much power and then they dominate and they push down the people below them. That has been exposed, and we'll be seeing more of the exposure of, I can think of a few organizations that are going to have some accounting to do in the coming years because of their actions, or they're taking people's money and misusing it and all kinds of stuff. But we're seeing, like, Pluto moves at the speed of a glacier, but has the impact of a tsunami. So we're going to see massive transformations of the collective, some for good, like much more, much more innovation, scientific advancements, and more fairness and equality, hopefully. But we're also going to be seeing like mass migration due to climate change. We're already seeing this, but it's going to escalate, and war and famine and all of these kind of things take groups of people and move them. So these are some of the topics that are part of. We've been seeing these already. AI was the big thing we saw when Pluto entered Aquarius. Yeah, when a planet enters a sign, we will see what it rules and themes around it as soon as it enters a sign. The magic of the moon, working with the moon cycles. This is how you make the unconscious conscious. And every month I do moon workshops. So you can come and learn about the nature of the moon, the astrology, and I do hot take readings for people. So on November 1st, we're going to have a full moon at 9 Scorpio. This is right before the election. It's very intense. There is Mars opposite Pluto. So there is like really, really, really intense energy about conflict, emotional intensity. Mars right now is in Cancer, Cancer is a water sign that has to do with the emotions. So just be aware, people are tense. I would not toot my horn at anyone. Avoid conflicts during this lunation cycle, even if you're not in the US. It is intense energy. The new moon is a time to set intentions, make wishes, have a ritual, and initiate new projects. Scorpio rules shared assets like wealth. It also rules debt and taxes. So you can set intentions to build your wealth, reduce your debt, evaluate your tax strategy. Great time. Scorpio rules death and rebirth. To think about your will, what you want to leave behind to your loved ones or to organizations that you are passionate about. You can journal what emerges from your shadow mind, the things you'd rather disown and push down. At the full moon on November 15th at 24 Taurus, all is illuminated at the full moon. The sun and the moon are as far apart as they can be. It's a time to release what no longer serves you. It's a time for celebration and forgiveness. Now, in the US, this is going to be a time of intensity. The people are very excited, wherever excited because the moon is going to be next to Uranus. Excited, ready to revolt, um, yeah, there's dealing with some kind of unexpected upheaval. There's a lot going on around this full moon, but hopefully for most people in the world, it will be a positive type of excitement. People are stressed. These are Uranian words. Like Taurus is a fixed earth sign where it's like desiring stability, but then Uranus, the lightning bolt, comes in and it's like, oh, we're all stressed and nervous. So what can you do to calm your nervous system? There'll be revelations about resource sharing that come to you, pleasure seeking, and power dynamics. This is the Scorpio Taurus axis. Before I get into the signs, I just want to make you aware of some things that I offer. I am collaborate with Tiffany Herlick, an amazing astrologer and intuitive. You can take a screenshot of this and go to tiffanyherlick.com/shop happy and get a digital astrology calendar so that you can see all these transits on your phone, and you can look to make sure you don't go on vacation on a day where there's an umbrella if you can avoid it. Like Mars square Saturn, like that's going to be, you're going to be wanting to go forward, and there's going to be Saturnian delays, restrictions, and things that it's not the best time. You want to go when Venus is trine Jupiter or something like that, or just there's just more nice energy. So you can think about that. 40 Days of Spirit is to develop your psychic intuitive senses. Oops. Let's just pardon me while we have a little temporary setback. Okay. The next full new moon workshop is Sunday, October 22nd. Excuse me, Sunday, October 27th at noon Pacific time for Scorpio season. So you can learn all about intention setting and whatnot. On November 11th, my Astro besties, a couple of them, Tiffany and Sarah, we do this every year where we're going to do our predictions. So you can sign up for this. And these are on my website, astrologybyceleste.com, actually on the Moon Workshops page. Actually, this might be on my front page, the prediction. They might be both on the front page of my website. Check it out. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about each of the signs, and if your sun sign, and if you know it, your rising sign, you have to have your birth time and place and date to know your rising sign. It's very important. The rising sign has to do with how people see you as well as your physical body. You can get my you can get my class if you want to learn more about it. Meet the zodiac. So if you're an Aries sun or rising, the sun will be transiting through your 8th house during Scorpio season. The 8th house rules sexuality, death, debt, transformation, all the themes it's a Scorpio house, the things. You can set intentions about reducing debt, focusing on intimacy, and facing your shadow. You will have a new moon in your 8th house, and a full moon in your 2nd house. The new moon is the dark, and the full moon is the bright. Dark internal, bright, you see it all out. Okay. For Taurus, the new moon will be in your 7th house and the sun will shine there. So there will be a focus on your one-on-one partnerships. It can be love partners, business partners, also open enemies, but a best friend type people are your one-on-one 7th house relationships. There can be, if at the new moon, you can create actions and set intentions about socializing, like date night if you're married, if you haven't been getting busy in the bedroom for a while, this is a great cycle to reinvigorate, bring sexy back. Great time to set healthy boundaries, bring beauty into your life, or work on serious relationships. The full moon will be in your first house. So, this axis is about you and your partner, how you balance things, and like money stuff may be coming up for you because it's Scorpio season, or debt or taxes. Yes. For Geminis, this is the sun will be shining in your sixth house, which rules routines and rituals, small pets, employees. This is the house of preventative health. If you notice anything about your health, go to the doctor. Yeah, set an appointment and manage anxiety if this is something you're struggling with. You really may need to like do what you need to do to calm yourself down. If the election stuff is all crazy, you can turn off the TV. Yes, you can. You can set intentions around improving your health, reducing anxiety, replacing unhealthy habits. The full moon will be in your 12th house of self undoing and escapism. Really watch any kind of drinking or such like that, like drugs or what have you, because this could be a time where you find yourself really ratcheting it up and then it's impacting your health. So for Cancer, sun and rising, the sun will be shining through your fifth house of joy and things we create for joy. Great time to get involved in things you like to do, like your hobbies. This is a great time. There can be a spotlight on your children. They may be asked to have their hands out asking you for a loan. Hopefully not, but maybe your child pays you back money that you lent them or something like that. That could be a delightful surprise at the full moon. Yes, it could be. Yeah, you may be thinking about vacations or risk taking, things like that. It's the house of sex too. So yeah, you can if sexy left, you can bring it back. You can make resolutions and intentions about nurturing your inner child, improving your relationship with your kids. Like don't argue with them about politics, maybe. Building more joy in your life. Mm, for Leo, this sun will be shining in your fourth house of home, family, and foundations. Now, remember, Mars is going into Leo, and that is a planet of conflict. So, really, can you work to not be arguing with your family during this time? Yeah, set objectives around your home, finding ways to have healthy conversations with your parents, with your immediate family. Yeah, what do you want to do to build security? Maybe you want to invest in a home security system or something like that. Could be do something you do, or a ancestry project. Now, the full moon would be in your 10th house of work, so you may get some insights about work-life balance. For Virgos, the sun will be traveling through your third house during this lunation. The third house is the house of the mind. Really watch your anxiety, your obsessive compulsiveness. You're trying to control anyone during this time because Scorpio, like, is intense energy. Yes, it rules siblings, early education, community, and short trips. So you may find yourself, you got a lot of errands to do whenever you have a new moon or the sun's going through your third house. You may need to do something. It's a great time to think about your car. The car is a third house topics. Do you need to get maintenance? Yes. You can set goals around networking, journaling, taming your anxious mind, connecting with siblings or neighbors. The full moon in your ninth house. Maybe you want to take a long trip. The ninth house rules long distance journey to see your neighbors. Maybe you'll be coming to revelations about how you thought things were and see things about like your neighbor, your in-laws are posting some stuff on Facebook and you're like, I had no idea that this was what they thought about, but now you know. For Libra, the sun is going through your second house. This is the second house of your personal resources, your income, your talents, your values, your attitudes towards money. So, you may really notice some things about that. And the full moon's in the 8th house. Um and the 8th house of shared assets. So there can be some stuff coming up between you and one of your one-on-one partnerships about money stuff. But for yourself, this is a great time to think about setting intentions about building your savings, increasing your income, and that sort of thing, improving your self-esteem. For Scorpio, the sun is shining in your first house of your identity, your vitality, how other people see you, the physical body, the appearance. We call the ascendant the mask we wear. It's like how the face we put on. So maybe you want to do a makeover or something like that. Create actions about health, develop confidence, asserting yourself in the world. This is the full moon's in your house of your partner. So, ooh, maybe you want to come home with a cute little lingerie set or a pajama set to spice things up. For Sagittarius, the new moon is in your 12th house, and the sun is going through your 12th house of mysticism, escapism, self undoing, secrets, hidden enemies. So, the 12th house is a house where it's a good idea to take some downtime, to set yourself, give yourself some downtime because next month you're going to either have your birthday if you're a Sagittarius sun or a new moon in your first house. So this is a time to look what needs to end. Great time to focus on your mental health, tame bad habits, plan downtime. So if there's all this, like if you're in the US and you're all stressed out about, watch out for overdoing, self undoing with through overdoing escapism, Sagittarius. For Capricorn, this new moon is going to be, and the sun will be going through your 11th house of hopes and dreams, groups, friends, teams, organizations. So, this is a house of good fortune. So, making new moon wishes is something you should do anytime there's a new moon in your 11th house. Set intentions to achieve your deepest desires and think about your role in groups. Plan time with friends. For Aquarius sun and rising, this new moon is in your 10th house, and the 10th house rules your professional career, your social status, calling, and your fame. You will have more visibility. So, not a time to slack off from work when the sun's going through your 10th house. This can be setting intentions about the legacy you want to build, about your life goals. Maybe you want to think about retirement. Yeah, again, the full moon's in your 4th house. So, you may be wanting to think about um, the balance between work and home. For Pisces, this new moon is in your 9th house that rules long distance travel, religion, philosophy, your in laws, higher courts, higher education. Yeah, so maybe you want to plan a trip during this time. Maybe you want to learn about a far distance place. Maybe you want to research moving to another country or something like that. Maybe you go on a date with someone from another country or something like that, or make a new friend from a long way away. Yeah, you can make time to learn new skills, take a class, maybe get involved with your local politics, publish your work, expand your mind. The full moon is in your 3rd house of the mind. So, like this can be about thinking about, your life philosophies and illuminating why you feel that way, how you learn those things from your early childhood could be things that come up. So that's it for this forecast. I hope you found it helpful. Really notice the themes, and you can look to, you may see things about both your sun sign and your rising sign coming up during this cycle. But take good care, try to stay grounded, and yeah, I hope it all goes. I hope you have a beautiful Scorpio season that's richly abundant with things that come to your conscious attention that help you heal, grow, and transform. Take good care.